Hi everyone, so today I'm starting something that's a wee bit different from what I usually do on my channel, and I just sort of came up with the idea kind of randomly, like to do a thing called Thursday Thoughts. I don't know why it came into my head, but I just thought it would be a good idea because I want this segment on my channel to be able to talk about things that are things that I'm passionate about, or even just things that I've got in my head and things that are annoying me or things I want to talk about. Like, it could really be anything, just sort of for me to, speak like uncut and just go off on one basically. For the first one, I thought it'd be fun to talk about feminism because it's something I'm really passionate about and I have been for quite a while. I sort of want to break the stigma on the whole idea of feminism because there's such a stereotype around it, and I just want to get my views across on it and what my opinion is on feminism because it's so subjective. Like, everyone has a different view on it, so before I start on it, I'm not making this video to offend anyone. If you don't agree with my views, that's fine. I'm not saying that my opinion is right, it's just my opinion. So I've got my wee cup of tea here and I'm just going to get stuck in. So the thing, everyone experiences feminism or has a different opinion of it, and I just want to say that before I start, I'm talking from a white cisgender point of view, and I would love to raise awareness about feminism that needs to be addressed for people who are transgender or, different sexual orientations. But I'm not as educated on that part, so I don't feel it will be right for me to give my view on that when I don't know that much about it. And I'm sure lots of people have videos on that, so I'm just giving my point of view on things that I've experienced and basically just my take on it. I remember even from a young age, like with gender roles especially, I always knew that there was something weird about it, and I didn't really understand why boys had to play with trucks and footballs and girls had to play with dolls. I just sort of went along with it, but I remember the first time I was sort of confused by it was when, I'll never forget it, I was in nursery school, preschool, and I always would dress up as a fireman, and I was considered a tomboy or whatever, but it was okay, it was just funny, oh, she's a wee tomboy. But then one of my friends, who was a boy, always put on the fairy costume because he loved dressing up in that, and he was sort of laughed at, and to me that just doesn't make sense. I don't get why it's acceptable for a girl to be more masculine or dress up in what's considered something male, but when a boy does it, he's too feminine and it's not okay to be like that. And it's something that really bothers me, and I think that's sort of when my eyes were first opened to the fact that the world isn't really equal. But that's just the one thing that stuck out to me when I was younger. Why would you take away from a child's enjoyment just because of what's stereotypically right for a boy or a girl to do? But gender roles can be a whole other topic to talk about, so I just want to focus in on the feminist aspect. And the first time I really sparked an interest in it was probably about 3rd year or 4th year, so about maybe 14. It was basically when we were learning about the suffragettes in history and the right for women to vote, and it actually really shocked me that that was not really that long ago. I just didn't understand why, and I remember learning about it and thinking, how was that ever a thing, that women were so marginalised in society? There's still a lot of sexist people and people who don't believe that all genders should be equal, but back then it was so much worse, and it's crazy to think about. And I just remember learning about Emmeline was the main one, Emmeline. I'm not really sure how you pronounce her name, but I remember learning about her and how they would have fought for their vote, and to me that's so inspiring that they would risk their lives really in an attempt to try and create equality. And I really look up to those people, and some of them went to really extremes and would jump in front of horses during horse racing and to make a point, and eventually they did get us the vote, which is amazing. It's just crazy to think about that only male opinion was respected. But that was sort of my first exposure, I guess you could say, to the idea of feminism. and since then I've been really interested in it. But what makes me really sad is the stigma around it, and it really bothers me. So if you're still sort of really confused in the whole topic and don't really know what the hell I'm talking about, basically feminism feminism is described in the dictionary as the advocacy of women's rights on the ground of the equality of the sexes. And I can't stress the last part enough, equality of the sexes. People tend to focus on the feminine aspect, which is really off-putting for a lot of males especially, which is understandable. But people really stress the part that it's for women's rights, and sort of have this whole stereotype around the whole idea that feminists are people who hate men, who want men killed, believe women are superior to men. And if you believe this and call yourself a feminist, it's so wrong. No, like, all feminists want is equality. It shouldn't be such an extreme thing or something that's ridiculous and non-realistic. I was a feminist. Like, in my head I wanted gender equality, but I didn't want to be called a feminist, because in my head what I was taught, and you know, like, not even what I was taught, but what I was exposed to, was the idea that feminists are girls that fight men, hate men, want men dead. And it's so far from what I believe, is so far from that. Just because I'm feminist doesn't mean I hate men. It's 2017, a lot of things have changed, people's views have changed, and that's amazing, but this is still happening. Sexism is still happening, and gender inequality is still happening. It's really interesting to see, you know, older generations, like even my parents and like my granny's generation, you know, how different things were. It wasn't really questioned by a lot of people. I think my dad, like whoever he works with, his wife was taking a course in something to do with like gender or something, and he showed my dad this like sheet, and it was taken from an actual textbook on sex education, and I'm just going to go get it now because you honestly won't believe how shocking this is. So this is the thing I was talking about, like the extract from a textbook. So this is what it says. This is an actual extract from a sex education school textbook for girls, printed in the early 60s in the UK. When retiring to the bedroom, prepare yourself for bed as promptly as possible. Whilst feminine hygiene is the utmost importance, your tired husband does not want to queue for the bathroom, as he would have to do for his train. But remember to look your best when going to bed. Try to achieve a look that is welcoming without obvious. If you need to apply face cream or hair rollers, wait until he's asleep, as this can be shocking to a man last thing at night. When it comes to the possibility of intimate relations with your husband, it is important to remember your marriage vows, and in particular your commitment to obey him. If he feels that he needs to sleep immediately, then so be it. In all things, be led by your husband's wishes. Should your husband suggest Congress, then agree humbly, all the while being mindful that man's satisfaction is more important than a woman's. Should your husband suggest any of the more unusual practices, be obedient and uncomplaining, but register any reluctance by remaining silent. You may then set the alarm so that you can arise shortly before him in the morning. This will enable you to have his morning cup of tea ready when he awakes. I swear, this honestly blew my mind when I read it. Like, there are so many things in that are so wrong, and if that was put out there today, it would be like extremely criticised. First of all, they're basically saying that your purpose in life is to cater to your husband and to basically do whatever he says. To me, that sounds like sexual slavery, and it is the craziest thing I've heard in my life that that was actually taught. And is it any wonder that we grew up in a sexist society when that is what is being taught? That was what was being put in textbooks for young girls. People think that that's in the past, but so much of that still happens today. People still have these views. And I have a few facts here that really shocked me, and the one that really annoys me the most, and that I had no idea about until it was like, you know, sort of brought up in the media, was the fact that women are paid less than men for the same job. Women with full-time jobs only earn 77% of what their counterpart male is earning for the exact same job. And there's also a huge inequality in terms of politics. And around the world, only 22% of all national parliamentarians are female. So basically, and when you talk about terms of, you know, female rights, such as abortion or like anything like that, I don't want to go into that too much, but basically what happens to your body is being decided by men, and I don't mind that if they're taking our opinions into consideration, but most of the time that's not the case. 62 million girls are denied an education, and it honestly breaks my heart that males have the right to be educated but females don't. And while the inequalities that women face is something that really bothers me, the other side that a lot of people forget about is that males are also subjected to sexism, and people often think that feminism is really one-sided, but in my opinion it's important to address the inequalities that men face as well. And I done a bit of research, and honestly some facts really did shock me. Males are sort of forced into this role of being masculine and dominant and can't be sensitive to anything. Mainly due to this, like, men don't feel like they're deserving of expressing their emotions and telling people how they feel. And because of this, male suicide is a lot larger than females. And another thing that really annoys me is the whole maternity leave and paternity leave. Like, there's so much inequality that it's okay for a woman to take off her work to look after a child, but a man shouldn't. It doesn't make any sense. Just because a woman gives birth to the child doesn't mean that it's more important for her to spend more time with her child than the father. We still have a really big way to go on this whole subject. But I just wanted to stress the fact that feminism isn't just, you know, inequalities that women face. But I kind of want to go back more onto the whole female subject, like especially in terms of sexual objectification. And people are so quick to call feminists hypocrites because, I mean, everyone has different views on this, but in terms of, like, you know, the way you present yourself is completely up to you. Like, a lot of people are really hateful towards each other. Like, you know, girls can get so jealous and hateful towards each other because of, like, I don't know, things they don't agree with, or it's mostly just out of jealousy. And I think such an important thing is that you should support, you know, other women and celebrate other women. Just because someone's pretty and has an amazing body and you basically are jealous of everything that they're doing and they're successful and you don't think you are. Like, I posted about this on my Instagram, and like, I'm not really like a person for quotes, but this always sticks with me because, you know, it's natural to look on someone's Instagram and be like, you know, think negative towards them because they have something that you don't. But you have to remember that her success is not your failure. Just because someone's doing well in something or is successful, it doesn't take away from your success. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent on something that could be talked about completely in another different video, so I think I'm going to end it on that note. And basically, if you want to leave your thoughts on this in the comments, feel free. I'm really open to discussions on it. Like, I love talking about it in person with other people, like especially in school. And just what I want to stress and what I want you to take from this is, no matter what gender you classify yourself as, you can be a feminist. You don't have to be a female to be a feminist. Don't let the word put you off. I think that's me basically on this whole topic. So hope you enjoy this wee like segment called Thursday Thoughts. And I don't think I'll do it every Thursday, like I'll just do it, you know, every so often. If you like these like sit down talking videos, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you didn't get bored halfway through, I'm sorry if I like went off on a rant, but I just wanted to like get it off my chest. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!